Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to start building the sheath for the Cobra knife. Step one is to actually make a paper sheath, much cheaper than leather. Here I'm tracing out the profile of the blade, and I really want it to fit snug. I want that point to fit snugly into the sheath so that it's a perfect fit. What I'm doing here is making sure you can actually draw and sheath the knife. Because it's a razor back, I can't make it fit exactly at the top of the blade because it'll catch on the welt. So what I've done is practice drawing it on the paper, and now I've actually created room for the blade to slide in and out of the sheath. You can see here it'll actually snugly fit at the bottom, and if I get the top into a nice fit, it won't move around in the sheath. Once I've got the basic blade outlined, I need to actually create a little bit extra leather on all the way around it so that we can actually put a welt in and stitching. So I've just used a compass, set the compass to about 12 millimeters, give or take. And I'm just simply tracing around the edge of the profile I drew. A little bit of hand sketching to fill in the lines. Now what I'm going to do is take apart the Cobra, and I'm going to actually use the guard to make sure I get a perfect alignment with the top of the sheath's leather to the guard itself. So I'm using the guard to draw the curve, and I should get now a perfect fit as long as I stay to that line. What I'm doing here is creating a center line down the middle of the sheath. The reason being is I'm going to end up adding 3 sharpening stones to the sheath as well as fire steel. And I want to make sure that that's lined up somewhat in the middle of the sheath, and then replicating the same curve so that when I do the tooling on the sheath, all of the curves match exactly. I'm going to use this scale stamp to simulate snake scales because it's a Cobra knife. And here I'm just continuing the center line to make sure that we get everything lined up nicely. My plan is to have tooled sections on the top and bottom of the sheath with the sharpening stones and fire steel in the middle. So right now I've got things divided into 3 sections. Next step is to simply just cut it out of paper. This is going to become my template for the sheath. And we'll just make sure everything fits again now that it's all cut out. And we'll eventually mark exactly where we want the stones and the fire steel to sit on the sheath. And here I'm just sketching in a flap just to make sure it's going to look the way I think. I like the idea of tapering it in just to make sure. If you like what you're seeing, please like the video and subscribe. I'll try and answer any questions I can. Part 2 of making this sheath, where we actually cut out the leather pieces, do some tooling, stamp the stitching holes, coming soon, hopefully next week. But right now what we've got is the paper cutouts to make this. Thank you so much for watching.